Hey friends, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina. I am super excited to be here with you today to go over some all-terrain strollers. So I decided to make this video a while ago and I'm super excited because I achieved what I wanted to do. I have taken 7 of the most popular options for premium all-terrain strollers and I've actually walked with them, and not just a little bit. I took each of them 6 miles up, 3 miles of ascension, and 3 miles down over a period of 2 days apiece. So it's been a long 2 weeks walking these 7 strollers that are behind me. But just to be fair, I wanted to make sure that I built out a really strong, good baseline for being able to review these. So what that means is that I didn't think it was reasonable to just jump in and try to review them, because it occurred to me that whatever I ended up with on day 7 was probably going to be more efficient to walk than on day 1, and that would be from me acclimating just to the walk itself. So for the first 2 weeks, prior to the last 2 weeks, I have been walking with a Bugaboo Chameleon, which is the stroller you see in front of me. This is a discontinued stroller with a 12-inch rear tire. All the strollers that we're going to be looking at have a 16-inch rear tire. I did this deliberately. I wanted those first 2 weeks to be harder so that everything moving past this Bugaboo that I would be walking would be an easier walk. So again, this is a discontinued stroller. This is not to knock this product. It's just to say, hey, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't jumping in without any relevant pushing experience to be able to have a meaningful conversation about any of this. So I used the dolls provided by UppaBaby. They give 28-pound dolls to retailers, so we have about a 30-pound doll in each one of these strollers. And we're going to have to move through this like the Micro Machines guy, just talking really rapidly, because 7 strollers is a lot to cover, and the camera keeps cutting me off, so I'm going to do my best to get through them as rapidly as possible. So right now, I have 5 of them folded up here for everybody to see. And then back here, you see we've got the Revolution, which does not stand when it's folded. So I'm gonna go ahead and lie it down at the end here, just like so. And then on the very end as well, we have the Baby Jogger Summit X3, which will not stand when it's folded either. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it down just like that. So we've got Summit, the Thule Urban Glide 3. This green one is going to be the Bumbleride Speed. The one next to that is going to be the UppaBaby Ridge. We've got the Bob All-Terrain, and then we have the Bob Wayfinder and the Bob Revolution Flex on the end. So let's launch right in. I'm going to start with the strollers that I liked the least. So again, this is not a definitive end-all be-all criticism of these products, but I do think it's really unfair when you have influencers who get one stroller and they post about it and everyone says, well, that's the one to get because such and so said so. Or if you go and ask your friends what strollers they like, they haven't pushed 7 different strollers. They've pushed the one stroller that they purchased, or maybe the 1 or 2 they've purchased over the years. There's very few people that are going to take this mental illness to the next level and actually try them all out against each other. So that's the point of the conversation. Okay, so from my experience of doing this, and again, this walk that I did is 600 or 700 feet of ascension going up 1.5 miles and then going back downhill. It's in the Oakland Hills. It's over by the Oakland Zoo. At the end of the video, you can watch the actual walking route and see how horrible it is. So here we've got the all-terrain, and as you can see, it's a little more unwieldy and annoying to get open. Has a nice big canopy, deep recline. All-terrain is $700 from Bob, which was crazy to me. Comes in black with blue with a gray frame, 32.5 pounds. The things that really were hard for me about this one is that it comes with a handbrake that was totally non-functional. So if you're gonna add a handbrake to a product, it needs to be functional. It adds weight to the product. So I'm pushing around a heavy stroller, I'm going downhill, I have a handbrake, it's worthless. So that was really difficult for me. The other thing that's really hard for me, aside from it being very, very heavy, is that it does fold so enormously. So it would be hard for me to bring it anywhere. It is 25.5 inches wide, 45.5 inches high, and 46 inches long. So it's quite large. It has the smooth shock suspension on the back, and then it's going to be a single-handed fold. It'll hold a 75-pound child. The basket holds 10 pounds, and the frame has a 5-year warranty and a 1-year warranty on the soft goods. So this, to me, of everything that we're looking at, was easily the largest folded. So I'm gonna put it back. I'm actually gonna put it over to the side, because again, on the list of 7, that's gonna be my lowest. Now, moving up to the next lowest, we're gonna look at the Bob Wayfinder. This is a very confusing product to me. I did do individual videos on all of these, so if you want a deeper dive, head in there and have a look. Wayfinder is narrower than all of the strollers that we're gonna be looking at, so it's very narrow, and it does include a cup holder, which is really great. Both the Bob All-Terrain and the Wayfinder have baskets that have a zippered top. The Wayfinder has a really bizarre rock crawler suspension on the back that I don't really understand whom it's supposed to appeal to. I think men, but I'm not really sure because it's just kind of bizarre. Where would you even be walking where you would need a rock crawler suspension like that? But price is $579. It's 31 pounds. It has the handbrake. The handbrake here is considerably more functional than the one on the all-terrain. So I had to give it higher points for that. It will stand when it's folded. It'll hold 75 pounds in the seat, 10 pounds in the basket. Narrow is smallest. It'll work with Maxi Cozy. There's a travel bag available, 5-year, 1-year, same as all-terrain. All-terrain will work with more car seats. The Bob All-Terrain has like the broadest variety of car seats that it'll work with. And this guy, when you fold it and you put the handle in the correct position, it will stand up when it's folded. So it'll look like that. So I think their idea with this is it's supposed to be small and easy. It was horrible for me to push up a hill. I don't really know why, but both of the Bobs to me sort of like the Wayfinder and the All-Terrain. I don't really get why they even make those Bobs, to be perfectly honest. The best Bob stroller, without question, in my professional opinion, from years of selling it, is going to be the All-Terrain Flex. So let's talk a little bit about that. This is a great product. So this guy is $549. It's pretty inexpensive. This is the Bob stroller that'll work with the most car seats. So it has the most car seat adapters for it, 28.5 pounds, black or lunar. There's no handbrake on this one. That's fine. Those other handbrakes on the other 2 Bobs are horrible. So for this one to not have a handbrake doesn't bother me. It also has the classic Bob adjustable suspension. So the seat will hold 75 pounds, 0 to 40 pounds is suspension setting 1. Then you can do suspension setting 2, which is great. I will say the biggest drawback for me with this guy is going to be that I feel like the seat, even though they've added more padding, is sort of uncomfortable for the heavier kids, just sort of on how it's a hammocky kind of a seat. It's certainly not the end of the world. All 3 of the Bobs have the height adjustable suspension. So if you look here, I am 5'5". This is a very tall handle height. It can also be very low. So again, we'll have some of that information in the video, information on the text part of the video versus discussing it. Now, unlike the other 2 that is a single hand fold, this one is going to be a 2-handed fold. Additionally, the basket here does not have a zipper top like the other 2 do. Again, would not bother me. I would still buy this over the other 2 based on the way that this one pushes. This one has a very delightful, easy push and glide. It does have the 2-step fold, which to me is not the end of the world. They might say it stands when it's folded. I'm not really sure how we would accomplish that. I'm gonna see if I can't figure it out right this second. Maybe if we put the handle more like that, but I still doubt this. Oh, yeah, I guess it can. So there we are. It's a very awkward standing fold, but it will stand and fold. So yeah. Sort of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it does stand and fold, so that's exciting. All right, so all the Bobs stand and fold. But again, if you're gonna go in the direction of a Bob, I would definitely encourage Revolution Flex. It's the only one I'm gonna floor moving forward. I have no interest in flooring the Wayfinder or the All-Terrain ever. So those 2, Wayfinder and All-Terrain, would be a hard pass for me. I would definitely consider the Flex though. I think that that's a really nice option. This little guy on the end here, this is the Baby Jogger Summit X3 jogging stroller. So this one definitely does not stand when it's folded. It does have a strap to lock it together. This guy's awesome because you can take the wheels off and you can take off the front tire, including the front tire joint. and pack it and stack it the smallest out of any of them. So if you did want to bring it somewhere and do all-terrain stuff, this is a nice option. This is a really heavy stroller though. You're looking at, they claim it's the same weight as the Bob Revolution Flex. They say it's 28.5 pounds. I don't know if I believe that. It's $549, comes in black, midnight black, which is the color shown, and then a City Royalty, which is gold. The handle height here is one handle height position. So every other stroller that we're gonna be looking at has adjustable handle height. This handle height is one position. The other thing is all three of the strollers I just showed you had a foam rubber handle. This guy has just like a straight rubber handle. My preference is a handle like this versus foam because foam can deteriorate and disintegrate over time. So I like this rubber handle. Additionally, this guy has a handbrake. It's cheap, it makes noise, but it's functional. When I was going downhill, I was able to squeeze the handbrake very hard and that definitely slowed the back tires. All of these that have handbrake also have a separate foot brake, so that's awesome. There is no zippered pocket here, but I do think Baby Jogger's done a nice job with the ventilation on the sides of the canopy, as well as the seat interior material is really, really nice. It's like a neoprene. Almost all of these have like a 19 to a 20 inch backrest, about a 24-inch head clearance. You're usually looking at about 9 inches deep. But again, we'll have that specific information at the text on the bottom of the video. This one's cool because if you wanted to buy like a bassinet, you could buy a bassinet separately to click into it that they make. You could also buy their car seat adapters to put the car seat on here, but you can remove all the fabric and the canopy to sort of get a naked stroller with either the bassinet or the car seat on it for that, you know, kind of more snap and go style, and get walking right away with a newborn. So that's very exciting. Again, holds the 75 pounds in the seat, 2 pounds in the back pocket, 10 pounds in the basket. To lock the front tire, it's up at the handle versus down by the wheel, which could be nice if you're in a snowy area. You don't want to take your glove off to do that. It's easy. I will say this is a really heavy stroller to push uphill, and this is also one of the heavier ones to push up and tip if you're going to do real running. So I would say this is a great all-terrain stroller on a level surface. If you don't care that it doesn't have a height adjustable handle and that it doesn't stand when it's folded, at $550, this is a really, really strong value, and Baby Jogger does offer a lifetime warranty. So while it's not my all-time favorite to push, I do think for maybe somebody who wants to be able to buy a 3-wheel without being $1 million and they like the whole system, this could be a really nice option for them. And again, it's a single-handed fold, super easy. But again, it will not stand when it's folded. So I'm gonna set it down sideways. Not the end of the world. And I'm actually gonna get it sort of out of the way here. We'll put it in front of the bobs. Now, this stroller right here, this is gonna be the UppaBaby Ridge. The last three that we're gonna be talking about, which is the UppaBaby Ridge, the Bumbleride Speed, and the Thule Urban Glide 3. These to me are like the most relevant premium all-terrain strollers on the market. The other ones that I showed you, they're definitely like decent products, but all three of these are sort of pushing and breaking barriers and moving into stuff that I would actually buy. And these are the ones that I'm most excited to floor. So I don't think the 4 other ones that I just showed I would floor at my store, but these 3 I would definitely floor. So the UppaBaby Ridge, it's gonna be the heaviest of the 3. It's gonna be, they claim it's 29 pounds. I would say it's 31 or 32. It is a heavy stroller. It has solid rubber tires. So every other stroller that we were looking at has an air inflatable tire. This tire is going to be solid rubber. The wheels are removable. The front joint is also removable like Baby Jogger. And also like Baby Jogger, we can buy a bassinet for this stroller as well as a car seat adapter. Now the thing about the bassinet for the Ridge is going to be the Ridge bassinet is an overnight sleep certified bassinet. That's gonna make it different than all the other ones that we were looking at. So if you're like, hey, I really want all this stuff that I'm buying to be able to work in my home for like having more functionality, this guy is gonna give you that. Price point on this one is gonna be $599, and again, that Baby Jogger was $549. So this is a really, really cost-effective product. One thing I will say that I'm not in love with is that when you extend the canopy all the way, the mesh ventilation in the back is always open. I wish there was an opportunity to close that. I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's just something to be aware of. Something else to be aware of on this product, you do get the zippered basket. It is enormous. The handle height on this one is very high. So the Baby Jogger stroller, the handle height there was about 41.5 inches. I haven't discussed handle height on the other products that we were looking at because they go up as high as usually 46 to 48 on most of them and as low as about 34. Some of them even go down to 31. Baby Jogger has a fixed handle height at like 41.5 inches, which wasn't bad for me walking. When I walked with the Ridge, the handle height honestly to me felt too high. Now, why is it a problem here and it's not as big of a deal on Baby Jogger? Why I care here is because this is adjustable. I don't understand why they wouldn't give us one more lower position. It would make a huge difference. That, also I think a cover on the piece on the back, as well as having the footrest come up, would make a huge difference in terms of this product being like a knockout. Now, the thing I will say about it is that it is a huge fold. So of all the ones that I was looking at, this one to me felt the most cumbersome to sort of put in my vehicle. And the reason why I say that is that with other products, when I remove the tire, the brake isn't exposed. When you remove the tire from the UppaBaby, this has a disc brake. Now, this is one of the reasons why the handbrake on this product is actually functional, because it's on this glorious disc brake that's fully exposed when we remove the wheel. If I remove the wheel to put it in my car, it does make me nervous to have sort of the disc brake exposed and rubbing on stuff in my car. Whereas like any of the other ones, when you remove the tires, the brakes have sort of like a plastic casing, which would be more protective of that. So while you can make this smaller, I would just caution people to sort of be mindful that there might be some limitations to that. Also, this product was a little noisy when I pushed it. So it does have a zip basket. The basket vibrated quite a bit. I had to readjust like the zipper pieces to make it stop doing that because I'm very sensitive to hearing those kind of things when I'm walking out in nature. Additionally, for me, if the brake becomes maladjusted, it will make a shing, shing, shing noise. It's adjustable back to normal, but it's just something to be aware of. So again, this guy was really nice to push. Again, the tires are fully inflated all the time. You never have to inflate them. So I loved that. I didn't have to sort of think about that, and I knew that they were full every single time that I pushed it, but it was a little bit heavier, and it's definitely a larger fold. Price point's gonna be at that $5.99, and it comes in 3 colors, black, green, or a brown. Now, let's kind of set these up a little bit here before I get into my really good ones. We'll just put this on the end because this is crazy. This sucker is so big, oh my God, it's heavy. I just kind of want to show like sizing here because I think this is the big thing that people want to see. This is what I would want to see if I went shopping. Which one's going to take up the most room in my car? We can sort of see the different sizes here. Shove this guy laying on the floor. It's pretty small. Okay, so all-time favorites, the best of the best. The ones that I would be the most excited to sell to my customers or to my lovely viewers are going to be the Bumbleride Speed and the Thule Urban Glide 3. Now they're very different. I would say that they both come in as #1 as a tie for different reasons. So first and foremost, Bumbleride is a really, really small fold. It also correctly stands when it folds. It's not like the Revolution, which is an odd fold. This will fold up very small to come in and out of the car. Both the Thule Urban Glide 3 and the Bumbleride Speed are 26 pounds, so they are super lightweight. These two were also, without question, the easiest to push. So for me, I don't want to feel resistance when I'm pushing. When I pushed that Bob All-Terrain, it literally felt like I was trying to push through soup. I wanted to cry. And I pushed it at the very end of my walking, which was crazy. It's not like I started with that one. I ended with that one. And it was still probably my least favorite. The Bumbleride Indie I started with, and I also did an additional day just to make sure I wasn't crazy at the very end, is super lightweight. So both of these strollers are gonna be really lightweight. We'll open them both up so we can see them sort of side to side. Bumbleride is in the middle of transitioning to some new colors. So if you hate the color that I'm about to show you, that's okay. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued. And the new version coming out is gonna have some incredible changes. I cannot discuss them because I haven't seen it in person yet, but I will see it at the ABC show. So I'll be sure to update you and check out my video then as well. But Bumbleride Speed has super lightweight, comes with a front bar, air inflatable tires, rubber handle. So not a foam handle, a rubber handle. no handbrake. That is intentional. They say if it's not a workable, awesome handbrake, we're not gonna add weight to the product, because on a product this light, going downhill, this was not challenging for me at all without a handbrake. So I thought that that was really fabulous. This also comes with a hand bell, which I thought was stupid. But when you're walking up a hill for like a mile and your heart is about to burst out of your mouth, and you see someone with a dog and they're not paying attention, and you can't even call out because you're so exhausted, you have that little handbrake to hit to be like, hey, watch out. And I do think that that's a really nice feature. So this one's gonna be $6.99, 26 pounds, smallest fold, amazing push, very minimal suspension. So this is a stiffer ride, but not the end of the world. And again, this color is currently discontinued, so they're gonna be moving forward with new colors. I would definitely say black and then some awesome, really cool colors. Bumbleride also has this whole recycling green aspect of what they do, so check out my video about them if you're curious to go over a little bit more about that. Let's open up the Thule Urban Glide 3. So, to be fair, one of the reasons why this maybe, and you see it's like struggling right now, this technically does not stand when it folds, when it's locked. All the other ones are locked and standing. This one is, to get it to stand, you have to leave it unlocked. So if we fold it up enough to engage the manual lock on it, it will not stand when it's folded. So some people will argue and they'll say, that doesn't stand when it's folded. I would argue functionally, yes, it does, because I can fold it and open my trunk and then put it closer together and get it in the trunk. But it is a super long fold, as you can see, when it locks together. So it's as big as the all-terrain or the Ridge in terms of length. This guy as well for width is one of the widest. This one's 27 inches wide. Your Bumbleride, I think, is like 26 or 25 and a half. So like Thule is gonna be longer than Bumbleride. It's also gonna be a little wider. The Thule has a zippered basket. The Bumbleride has an open basket. Thule has a new canopy for this year that has mesh ventilation. It has a bigger canopy, but it also has mesh ventilation. And now that mesh ventilation can be covered when you're running or walking. So again, that's like UppaBaby doesn't do that. They need to probably adjust their product to have that. Something else that Thule's done that's fabulous this year is they've added the adjustable foot support. So I think every single brand moving forward should have an adjustable foot plate like what you see here. Nobody else that we're looking at has this adjustable foot support. So congratulations, Thule. That's a huge win in my book. Additionally, Thule has the best handle shape. So Bumbleride has a great handle. It can adjust very low, which actually for me, I like it to be able to go low. I also like the material that's on the Bumbleride. The other thing that's cool is if I were taller, this is the only one that sells, this Bumbleride Speed sells extensions where we can actually create a spacer to give us a higher handle height to create more space between the stroller and myself if I have a long stride. I don't, I have short legs, so that wouldn't be an issue for me. But if you're taller, that is something to consider with this guy that none of the Speed will have that none of the other strollers have. So with Thule, there are more, I would argue, like handle height positions here than on Speed. You've got low and high, but it's an ergonomic curve to the handle, and also that the handle is the thinnest out of all the ones that we looked at. Now it is foam, which I'm not necessarily crazy about. I thought I was gonna hate it, and it's like a kind of a weird soft foam the first time that you're touching it, but you do get used to it. The other thing that the Thule has better than everybody else, it has the most functional handbrake. And so you're like, but I thought you said the UppaBaby did. And the UppaBaby does have a good handbrake. I would argue that Baby Jogger's handbrake is reasonable as well. Thule's is the best because it can be used right or left-handed. So if you're left-handed, you can squeeze the handle and rotate your hand up toward yourself. There's no hand squeeze, but there's a rotation in order to slow the tire. It's the same story with your right hand. So for me, when I'm going down the hill, if I'm switching sides, I'm able to brake with either my left or my right hand. Now, this is a lightweight enough stroller where it probably doesn't need a handbrake, but I do think it's a really nice feature that if they're going to include it, that it's done in such a clever way, and it's the most useful of the ones that we're looking at that has a handbrake. Also, if you remove the tire from the back of it, the handbrake the disc brakes are not exposed the same way the ones on the UppaBaby Ridge are. So if I wanted to make this smaller for in my car, I wouldn't have the same type of trepidation I would have if I wanted to use the Ridge. Plus, it's like way lighter. I can get a bassinet for this guy. I can get a bassinet for Bumbleride. Both of these can be naked with the bassinet. Neither one of these bassinets is overnight sleep certified. Either one of these will work with car seats. You do purchase adapters separately. They all work with like Nuna, Kiko, Cybex, Maxi Cozy. Thule has a universal adapter, however, so if you wanted to go like UppaBaby or Kiko or some other brands, they're going to be able to help you out there, whereas I don't know if Bumbleride has that. I know they have Peg Perego and some other brands, which is good. But yeah, so I like the Speed and I like the Urban Glide 3 the best out of all the all-terrain strollers. These would be my two top choices for walking daily, no question. Ridge, again, I think is a good option for people and it works within that Uppa ecosystem, which is awesome. However, the handle height for me is just too tall to realistically use it daily. Now again, why does this matter? It matters because if you don't have access to try these things out, how would you ever know? Additionally, something in the store walking around for 2 seconds is not the same as going for 4 or 5 miles at a time or all day at the zoo. So having an additional handle height for me on that product would definitely jump it up to being higher on my list. But right now, currently, that handle height is just too high. So again, Speed is $6.99. The Thule is going to be $6.49. I think Thule has better features, stronger value for dollar. But for me, the Speed with the smaller fold, oops, you do have to put the front bar down. And again, the Speed comes with the front bar. So I wish they had an adjustable foot plate like the Thule, and I wish that they had a basket cover like the Thule. I'll also argue that both the Speed and the Thule were the quietest ones to push. So again, for me, that matters a great deal. 30-pound doll with all of them. And as you can see, Thule is a single-handed fold. And it will lock together. I'm gonna go ahead and get this handle up and have it stand a little bit for us here so we can see sort of how that looks. So, Urban Glide 3, Bumbleride Speed, UppaBaby Ridge, Bob All-Terrain, Bob Wayfinder, Bob Revolution, and then the baby jogger. So if you have questions or you have comments, please feel free to leave them below. Please feel free to hit like. Please feel free to subscribe. If you want to buy any of these from me, head over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. Please feel free to purchase it from me. If I'm helping influence where you are buying it, give me the opportunity to sell it to you. And again, no other store owner is going to go to this level of mental illness to like look out for your best interest. So if you've got follow-up questions about specific things about these, you can email in or give us a call and we're happy to go over it with you. Yeah, feel free to check out the videos about the individual strollers. That way you can learn a little bit more maybe about the ones that you love. But thank you so much for watching. I am so thrilled and I'm so happy that I was able to do this. It was incredibly humbling. Parents that are out walking every day with their kids, you have my utmost respect. Getting out of the house is huge. Being outdoors is amazing. Any of these is going to help you do that. But again, all we're trying to do is point you in a direction. If you're going to be spending this kind of money, hey, what am I getting? What are the differences? How do they look folded? Now you know. And knowledge is, what do they say, half the battle? All right. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos. We will see you in our next video. Okay guys, doing my best to get you this road. So as I said before, this walk is an insane amount of ascension. And it's really, you know, the first hill, which is this one that you see right now, is by far the worst. The one at the very end is also terrible. And I promise it's equally as annoying to walk as it is to be driving and bouncing around. I'm doing my best to hold this steady. I apologize if it's not. And so here we have this hill downward. Now this guy curves up to the left, and it's pretty much a nightmare. Person's parked in the wrong direction. But it's just so much climbing, as you can see. Thankfully, we do get little patches where it does even out to sort of calm down. But there's more ascension yet. We're going up, gang. Getting closer. Now this is a nice long stretch to even out. This is the part where I reevaluate my life and my life choices and think about all my regrets, because we're getting into the final climb, thank goodness. And I'm not gonna obviously bring you back down, we're just gonna go to the top. But this is sort of the summit push. Curve around this way, curve again to the left. We're almost at the very top. So from right about here onward, this is the second worst part of the walk, because you feel like you're so close to the end, but it's actually pretty steep. We're almost at the tippy top to Keller. And when you get all the way up here, you do get an incredible view of the city. So San Francisco is just over to the left, across the bay. Maybe that's about it. So thank you for watching. That is the climb.